Welcome, everybody, to a special interview episode of Tell Me About It, presented by the USFL Network. I'm Ace. Today, I'm interviewing the newest New Jersey General, previous Philadelphia Star, Marcus Lewis Jr. Marcus, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing awesome, man. Really appreciate you having me on the show today.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. For everybody watching, it's early on a Saturday morning. We're trying to get this done before Marcus goes and does his workouts and stuff. He is an early bird. I will tell you what. Marcus, you have been very nice to, DM and talk to, but I noticed it's all very early in the morning. You were just the earliest riser. What is up?
I just like waking up early, taking care of what I need to take care of, working out, things like that. And then, just having the rest of the day to do whatever else I need to do.
It is impressive, the work ethic. I wake up from my normal job at 6 a.m. and I already have a DM from you. And I'm like, wow, this guy is up. That is impressive.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So power to you. And you were very nice to me because I posted about your signing and Getty Images had put the wrong name on a photo. And I accidentally posted a photo of Devin Gray in my haste, thinking that it was you. And you were very, very nice to me about it. So I appreciate your patience. And
Oh,
you
absolutely.
still coming on.
No biggie. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's take it all the way back. You're from the Washington, D.C. area, correct? And you played at Gonzaga High School.
Yes. Yep.
So was it in high school or was it kind of before in middle school in, Pop Warner? When did you really find your love for football and realize this is something I want to do for the rest of my life?
I would probably say high school. High school started to really get recruited pretty heavily, and just started to get some recognition and things like that. Some coaches, telling me that they felt like I had a pretty good future, playing the game, playing the corner position. So I would probably say high school is when I really fell in love with it.
And everybody really fell in love with you as well. You were a consensus 4-star recruit coming out of high school for both safety and corner, is what I read. Were you kind of just playing wherever whichever position was open, whichever they needed you?
Yeah, so kind of the way it worked. My size playing corner. A lot of people felt like I had more space to fill as far as like my body and things like that. So a lot of people projected me becoming a safety and like things like that. But I played a lot of corner and nickel. Can play safety as well. So that's kind of just how that came about.
True. You do have a lot of size for a corner. I played corner in high school as well. I am 5'8". So looking at me compared to you, it does look like we would play possibly different positions, but I think you fill the corner spot perfect and you're absolutely correct. So after your junior year, you were invited to the Nike camp, the opening, which is a prestigious camp that all the biggest recruits in the nation are invited to. You told me you went to that. What was that like? And how did it feel being invited to something like that?
Oh man, it was awesome. Just going to the Nike headquarters, seeing everything that they have to offer, all the different sections that they have, for the different athletes that are signed with them. It was just amazing. Also, it was like a 7-on-7 tournament as well. So, just getting out there and kind of matching up your game against some of the nation's best. It was definitely a great experience.
Oh, man. And then, I mean, it kind of propelled you from there. You're a 4-star recruit. You get recruited and you end up moving on to Florida State, which is huge, wildly impressive. You have athletes who go to Florida State as their first stop, like Randy Moss, like Deion Sanders. So it's really impressive that you went there. And in your sophomore year, you had a breakout game against Ole Miss and kind of a spring football legend, Chad Kelly. And you picked him off and had fumble recovery. And you guys, upset Ole Miss in, I believe it was your first game of the season. What was
Yeah,
that like?
yeah, that was crazy. That game we played it in Orlando at Campbell World Stadium. The stadium was sold out. That was actually my first game starting. It was a crazy atmosphere. We got down a little bit early, and we kind of made that comeback in the second half. And I was just glad we were able to pull it off. But it was definitely a great experience. Something that I won't forget.
You say you were down a little bit. I'm pretty sure you had a 22-point comeback, which heavily relies on the defense making sure that point margin doesn't extend further. So wildly impressive. I watched all the highlights of that game. You look great, dude. What did it feel like to be on that big stage, prime time, Florida State versus Ole Miss? That was your first real experience starting, you said, on that stage. What was that like?
Oh man, it was amazing. Just to kind of get that feel, kind of get those butterflies out early, the crowd and all the anticipation leading up to the game. It was actually on that field, Ole Miss had, three guys, receiving, actually four guys receiving core wise that, are currently in the National Football League. Just getting the opportunity to play against those guys, guys like DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, Van Jefferson, Evan Ingram. I mean, all of these guys were just, great football players. It was definitely a good experience.
That is ridiculous. And the amount of talent you went up and watching you and just your poise and the way you handled yourself in that game, there's no question that we were going to be seeing you playing professional football, here and that. I'd be interviewing you. I'm lucky to be interviewing you. But
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
so
Appreciate it.
after your sophomore year at Florida State, you ended up transferring to Maryland. What was the thought process behind that, and what made you want to make that move?
Obviously I'm from the area. So just, kind of, coming back home, kind of trying to make an impact the best I can. Coach Durkin and I, we had a really good relationship. We previously recruited me at Florida. We were very close, and he was actually the head coach in Maryland at the time. And I had went into the portal, and he kind of hit me up, let me know what was going on, and I just felt like it was a good fit, and ended up coming back home.
And I mean, it worked out, but it's also that was back before the transfer portal rules had kind of changed. So you had to
Yeah.
sit out for a year, which I kind of forgot was a thing back then. What was
Yeah.
that like? Were you just sitting there, practicing, taking everything in? What was it like?
Oh, it was awesome. I was actually on like the practice squad, like helping the offense, like the scout team, and just going up against a guy like DJ Moore, where actually that season he had a phenomenal year, and ended up being, I believe, a first round draft pick the following season. So just going up against a guy like him, trying to prepare him. I know he's going to give me his best. I'm gonna try to give him my best to, kind of help him, get ready for the game. But um, just, the rehab process, just everything. I think it was a good year for me to kind of, take a step back, get healthy and just work on my game.
And then, I said it's no surprise that you were going to move on to the professional football level, that people would be wanting to interview you. But because of COVID and the whole pandemic, you didn't even get a pro day. And it kind of just put a stop to your football career right there for a second. How did the pandemic and everything affect you? And what steps did you take to make sure that you could go move on to eventually the CFL and move up to professional football?
Oh yeah, COVID, definitely played a role in everything. But that's just life, man. It's like, I've learned over the years that you gotta embrace, certain things, even, good or bad. So really I just embraced it, and I was just really thankful to even have an opportunity to play anywhere, whether it be NFL, CFL, wherever it was. So when Ottawa actually gave me that opportunity, um, coming out of school and everything, I was really excited, and I jumped on it, and that was a great experience playing out there.
So I love asking this question to everybody who plays in the CFL because, as you know, it's a very different form of football. And I always say it's very offensive oriented because the field is wider. The receivers get to run at the or the receivers get to run at the line of scrimmage. There's a yard between the offensive line, defensive line. And I think it looks a lot harder from a defensive back standpoint. What is your perspective on it after playing in it?
I would say it actually made me a better cover guy. To be honest with you, obviously, the CFL field is wider and longer than the regular U.S. American football field. So, just having the opportunity to, work on my game and on that field, it definitely showed me that if I can cover there, I can definitely cover on American soil. So, just having that opportunity, like I said, to go to Ottawa, playing the CFL. There was a lot of really great players, a lot of really great coaches. I really respect that league, and I was just thankful for that opportunity.
So did it feel like the game slowed down a little bit when you got to move back to US style football? Like you're like, oh man, this is kind of just a little bit easier. They're not sprinting at me before the ball is even snapped.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, it slowed down a little bit, but then again, it's pro football. So, the game, the speed of the game is so fast, regardless of really what league you play in. I think it definitely helped me a little bit to kind of, slow things down. But at the same time, I mean, guys are still moving, you know what I mean? Whether they're getting head starts or coming off the line of scrimmage. So, just having that opportunity to really work on my game, I think it made me a better cover guy. But definitely getting back here, playing on a smaller field, it even took that to another level.
Well, it took everybody to another level because you went and you played on the Philadelphia Stars, who ended up going all the way to the USFL championship. What was season one like, for you? Because you're an interesting case. We haven't really talked to many players who played on one team in season one and now are playing on a completely different team in season two. I think you're the first interview that I've gotten with a player who that's happened to. What was season one like? And then how has it changed your preparation for season two now that you know you're on a different team?
Season one was great. Just playing for Philly. I got a lot of respect for those guys, those coaches. Just having that opportunity to even come out and play. They drafted me and saw something in me to draft me into that league. So, just being with them, it was a great experience. And moving on to season two with New Jersey, I'm really excited. I'm really focused and really just trying to do whatever I can to help the team win, whatever it may be. That's really all I'm looking forward to.
Well, you're moving from one successful Northern Division team to another successful Northern Division team. Uh, what are you most excited about moving over to the New Jersey Generals and going and playing for them?
I'm just excited to play for Coach Riley. Excited to get with the guys, some of my new teammates that I have in the secondary, and I watched tape on some of those guys already, and I mean they got some ballers already, in that secondary, and I'm definitely you know ready to get out there and try to help as much as I can.
We've talked to and we've developed some relationships with a good amount of New Jersey Generals players. And the one thing that is just a consensus decision among all the players is that they would run through a brick wall for Coach Mike Riley. Uh, what are you most excited about interacting with him and playing for him next season?
I'm definitely excited to play for Coach Riley. He just seems like a really, really good guy and truly a player's coach. You know what I mean? And I'm just really excited to play for him, the staff, and get out there with my teammates and really do whatever's asked of me.
Oh, we're excited. Do you think you'll get to keep the same number one next season?
Hopefully, I'm not sure. We'll see. One of my good friends, DeAndre, he's number one and he plays quarterback, so probably not. But either way, it'll be a good deal.
Maybe you can get the rule changed up a little bit, kind of like
Yeah,
college football, where as long as you're both not on the field at the same time, you can have
yeah,
the same number.
that's
You
true.
know, you look cool in the number one, man. I think it
I
would be cool if you
appreciate it.
got it again.
Thank you.
All right. So for people watching, I dive deep when I do research on players like you. And for a lot of spring football players, there's not tons of stuff. Like it's not like you have a huge Wikipedia page that has all this information. So I
Yeah.
went to your LinkedIn page. And on your LinkedIn page, it says that you are a writer. And I think that sounds really fun. And I would love to hear what that is for you. What kind of writer? What do you like writing? What is that?
Absolutely. So just writing as far as like journaling about myself, writing, you know, um, some fiction about certain situations that I've been through in my life, and trying to, hopefully one day I can come out with a book and try to, help someone through some of those same situations. So I would say in terms of the writing, I would say that's what that consists of.
Well, if you ever get a book, I would be absolutely honored to get a copy, put it up behind me like this. Obviously, I have the Football for a Buck, the
Yeah,
book about the original USFL, but I would love to replace it with your book someday, which would be super cool. Maybe I'll get you to sign it. Who knows? I'll track you down.
absolutely.
But it also shows on your LinkedIn that you want to be a coach someday. That you said that you're actually excited for life after football,
Mhm.
which isn't a sentence I hear from a lot of football players. What are you most excited about pursuing being a coach and life after football?
Just helping other young men who went through some of the same things that I did, just helping them achieve their goals. Helping them to not necessarily make some of the same mistakes that I made, and help them, on that path to, um, being a good, you know, husband, son, father, things like that. So as far as being a coach, I would say that's like one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to is just helping other young men, kind of achieve their goals and get to where they want to be. Because I know I was that same kid, in their shoes, wanting the same goals, and sometimes, you set out a plan for yourself and it doesn't always necessarily, go the way that you would like, but you have to learn how to embrace those situations, even if it's not a good one, you know what I mean, just embracing it and keep pushing through. And if you keep pushing through and continue perseverance, you'll achieve everything that you want to achieve.
Well, that sounds like the perfect mindset to be a coach. You know, with someone like you who has played at the professional level, the football knowledge is there. But the thing that some coaches are missing is that being a true leader of men. And so I think it speaks a lot about you and also just is impressive that the thing you're most excited about is being a leader of men, young men, helping them grow up to be respectable members of society like you. Because I also saw that you have spent your time since high school and now, after season one, volunteering at the Father McKenna Center for helping homeless men. What is that like? Why does that mean something to you? And what has have you been doing that the entire off season, or what is that like?
So I've gone a couple times since I've been home, after season one. But I just think it's always important to give back, no matter where you are in life, whether you're, really successful or what. I think it's important to always reach back to others that are, kind of struggling and going through what they're going through and try to, be there for them as best you can. I never think that, when God blesses you, I think he blesses you to be a blessing to others. It's not just for you. And so that's just something that I try to do. I'm going to volunteer there later this month again. It's a place that, I hold dear to my heart.
Man, it is impressive to see someone who has reached levels that you've reached stay so humble and still go and help others the way that you do, and to aspire to help others in your coaching and your future endeavors. It says a lot about you, and you are an absolute stand up guy, Marcus.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Very impressive. So, when we reach the end of the show like this, we call it the end zone. And when we reach the end zone, I hand the floor over to you. And it's so that if you have, shout outs you'd like to give, a message to New Jersey Generals fans that you'd like to give, or a brand that you're promoting, maybe you have your own products or something that you're promoting. But we hand it over to you because we do these interviews to promote the league, to promote our network, but most importantly, to promote you as the player. So with that, I hand the floor over to you. Anything you want to say, Marcus?
Just shout out to my brother. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting me. Shout out to, all of those young kids at home that have a dream, and is trying to attain that dream. Keep going, even when things get rough. Keep pushing through. Uh, and I say that's about it, man. Shout out to New Jersey, the Generals, all my teammates. I pray they come in the camp pretty healthy and ready to go. So that's about it.
Short and sweet. I absolutely love it, Marcus. It's been a pleasure talking to you this morning. One of the earliest interviews I've ever done. So that's cool. You got me out of bed, and I appreciate that on a Saturday. I'm going to go be productive now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This has been a special episode of USFL Network's #1 show, Tell Me About It, interviewing New Jersey General defensive back Marcus Lewis Jr. Marcus, thank you so much. Everybody, have a great night.